There are moments in time that speak for every Jew. The temple in Jerusalem is destroyed, and now in Masada, the embattled zealots, their women and children, stand alone. Knowing that tomorrow brings certain defeat, they choose instead death by their own hand. As the Romans climb inexorably up this last fortress, they are greeted with the ghastly quiet of the dead. Masada has fallen. There will not be another free Israel for almost 2,000 years. And it is written, "For not only one enemy has risen up to try and destroy us, but in every generation are there men who rise up against us, seeking to destroy us." June 1967. There was one moment when Israel might not have survived. If you are Jewish, wherever you lived, at that moment your heart was in Israel. And you prayed that Masada would not fall again. Hear, O Israel, you approach this day of war against thine enemies. Let not your heart be faint. Be not afraid. Egypt's MiG planes are destroyed on the ground and in the sky. Israel fights to live. Across the Sinai into Suez, up the murderous Golan Heights, Israelis fought and bled. And Jews everywhere were torn by the passion of that moment. We were together, religious or not, Zionist or not, and we all knew the cold terror of waiting for news. Israel must live. Into the old city of Jerusalem, held by Jordan, never again to be denied to Jews. Into the Lion's Gate. Never again to be denied the wall. The land promised to Abraham, Israel, the only refuge left for every threatened Jew. Israel was safe. Jews from all over the world now stream into Jerusalem to see the holy places so long denied them. In 6 incredible days, the war has ended. How sweet it is to breathe the air of peace. The victory is real, but the peace is not. And under the watchful eye of the police searching for terrorists, life goes on. For on the 7th day, the war began again, and it has not stopped yet. It is a different war, with a different face, but with the same bullets that kill. To Israelis, the sight of a helicopter means an incident. The wounded are on their way to the hospital. Usually it is a border incident involving soldiers, but not this time. The emergency call goes out for doctors and nurses. A grenade has been thrown into a crowd visiting Abraham's tomb in the city of Hebron, formerly in Jordan. Families wait in the hallways for news of their relatives. It is the holiday of Sukkot, and many families were traveling to see the tomb of the patriarchs for the first time. As they stood outside the mosque, waiting for the Muslim prayers to finish before entering, the grenade exploded. 47 have been wounded.
I have heard something is crashing, and then I saw my husband and our little boy on his hand, and he's full with blood. Our little son, age 4, he was very brave, he even did not cry. He asked me what happened. I told him that he fell on the steps. And I hope that we'll be very soon healthy again. I hope that peace will soon come. I pray for it.
Shalom ילדים, שמי חיים מיג'אן. I am a sergeant in the Israel police force, and I'm here today to speak to you about explosives and to show you certain explosives which have been used recently. First of all, you can see here one of the latest Chinese-made plastic button mines.
This lecture is being given by the police to school children throughout Israel.
If you see it anywhere, do not touch it, do not step on it. If anybody will take it in his hands and press it a little bit, it can explode and you can lose your hand. If you step on it, you might lose your foot. This, you see, is a cigarette box. In this case, is an American cigarette box, Kent. This has a little hole, and in here they put a special pencil with a pin which when drawn can stand at a certain place and explode according to the instructions between 1 or 9 or 12 hours. When you see it, do not kick it, do not hold it in your hand, and do not throw it anywhere. The other one here is what we call a shoe mine. It is Czechoslovakian made, which usually is put on road paths or in grounds which are not asphalted. This carries about 200 grams, and when stepped on, even the youngest child, maybe 6 or 5 years old, can be killed. I must stress this point, and if you are anywhere where there is no asphalt, and you see a little bit of the earth which is a little bit uncovered, do not go there and do not step on it. These are very, very dangerous things. What I'm telling you today has been going on for the last year or so. We are a very small nation, and everyone is important to us. And I must again stress the point of how careful you all must be.
Children learn to live with extraordinary things in Israel, button mines in the cities. And in the border kibbutzim, like Kfar Rupin, they learn to live with trenches. Trenches and shelters are part of the new landscaping that teaches children to live with war on an intimate, daily basis. Trouble began here only after the end of the Six-Day War. The children play their games in the shadow of Jordan's Gilad Heights. And from these heights, they are shelled, often. After Syria's Golan Heights were captured and silenced, these Jordan hills to the south have become the center for terrorist action. Back in these hills, even young Arab children are trained for their mission to carry on the war. Their tragic course is set. They are taught to hate, to infiltrate, and to kill. Their hatred is real and their training is real, with live ammunition. Kfar Rupin and the 26 kibbutzim nestled here in the Beit Shan and Jordan Valley are under constant harassment by the Arab saboteurs. The narrow Jordan River is their border, and the Israelis farm right down to the banks. On the other side of the river are Arab pasture lands and farms. But today, when one looks across the Jordan, there is a question. Are these truly shepherds, or are they terrorists? El Fatah. For war has come to Kfar Rupin.
They were shelling here on our settlement nearly twice and 3 times in a week. And it's awful to see how mothers running quickly to the children to save them. We saw that it was a really attack on the people and they wanted to kill them. So we understood that it's a war. And we changed all our life as in a war. We know it's a war, so we digged out we put new shelters. We built the houses of the children stronger because we never built the houses for a war. There were people afraid. Of course, if somebody is telling me he's not afraid, he's a fool man. You understand? Everyone is afraid. I'm also afraid, but I am staying because it's my home. You understand?
And because it is his home, the army is staying too. Soldiers and arms and equipment now stand behind every family in every threatened settlement on every border of Israel. For this is a nation mobilized against an enemy who is fully rearmed. Israel has won 3 wars, but she knows her enemies need win only once. Constant vigilance must guard against the swiftness of possible attack. Every child in Kfar Rupin to the age of 14 now sleeps underground in shelters every night. The trenches are more friendly if you play in them by day. But are they deep enough? Strong enough for war? There is hardly a family in the country left untouched by the mobilization of their young, both boys and girls. And we who stood with Israel in that precious moment in June of '67 shall stand with her now, and with these her children. This army has sworn on the wind-swept heights of Masada that Masada shall never fall again. Each morning around 5 a.m., the first army patrol goes out. Before the farmers can go down to work, all the roads leading to the fields and the fish pools must be cleared for snipers and infiltrators. The Jordan River is narrow and shallow here, and easy to cross. Mines can be buried at night in the dirt roads. So farm roads are being paved, an unheard of expense. And every unpaved road must be swept by the army for mines. The danger of an attack on the patrol by the Al-Fatah is always present. If the morning patrol is not fired upon, then the kibbutz is signaled to come ahead.
When we receive at 6 o'clock, okay, we are all our people going to the fields to work. As there were some incidents, they shoot our people on the border, so we have to travel very carefully with 2 or 3, not 1. After all, I can tell you, we are going and working even if they are shooting. This is our policy. Nobody left the settlement, but I can tell you from the other side, most of the Arabs left the villages from the other side because when they start to shell, we are shelling back. The army, not our settlement. And when we shell better. You understand?
I think everyone feels like, you know, we are not afraid, but you know what terror means. If you go to sleep or when it starts dark, we don't like the children running around. We want them near us. Now the children sleep in shelters every day. When we started putting them down every night, the big ones, and even 5, 6 years old, were very glad to go there. They don't awake every time when it bombs at 2 o'clock in the night. My son, 1 year ago, he told me like this, why do they shoot? Why don't we go away from here? We'll go away, so they won't bomb. So I told him, if we'll go away, they'll start bombing the nearest town, Beit-Shan. Afterwards, they'll bomb somewhere near, so we can't just go away. It's our home. We don't think about it.
How shall I bless and with what shall I bless this lovely little child? Asked the angel. I will bless him with smiles that shine like a light, and eyes big and soft that watch with delight the flowers that grow, the birds that fly near, and a sensitive heart to feel laughter and tears. How shall I bless and with what shall I bless this lovely little lad? Asked the angel. I will bless him with legs that forever dance, and a soul that will sing all the songs and the chants, and me to gather the shells of the sea, and ears that can hear the heart's melody. How shall I bless and with what shall I bless this youth who stands so near to manhood? I must bless him so his hands that once touched the sweet flower learn the feel of cold steel and the thrust of power. Legs that once danced now must march and stand, while his lips sing the rhythm of war's command. How shall I bless and with what shall I bless this child who is a man? Asked the angel. La, 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 la. I gave him everything I could give. A soul that sings, legs to dance, a gentle hand and a loving heart. And now, with what more shall I bless him? Oh, shall I bless this sweet, tender child, this boy, this man, this soldier? But the blessings you offer come too late for him, for the days of his youth never filled to the brim. Elohim, oh God, why this strife? The blessing he wanted was life. La, 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 la.
In the words of General Moshe Dayan, what do we expect of you? I would expect of you to feel Jewish. And I would say that's all. And if you feel Jewish, then we are together, you and I. And then if we are in trouble, you will do what one Jew does for another when he is in trouble.